Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Where's My Sage, a Taste of the Universe. I'm Mike, and unfortunately, this evening, Christy will not be with us. I am live, out sitting on some power lines and some woods between multiple sightings down in my area. And hi, folks, as you're coming in. So, unfortunately, Christy won't be joining us tonight. Her dad's in the hospital in the ICU, so please send your prayers. She would really appreciate it, and me as the supportive co-host would really appreciate it as well. So tonight we're going to be talking about squatching in the winter and what goes into investigations and some of the equipment that I have out here with me tonight, because I'm set up just like I would any other night that I was out. Even though I've got the show, I have the ability to go ahead and get out and set things up. So, hi, Christina. Hi, Marilyn. So as we're coming in, so again, folks, you're tuning in tonight. For the week, Paul, I am growing the beard back in, and Carrie, thank you. Christy is watching from the background, but just not knowing if she has to grab a phone or not, like that. As you said, we did have to reschedule John Kennedy. So prayers, thank you, Christina. So I can get some housekeeping done. Thank you, Marilyn, for the prayers, healing vibes for her and her dad. Just a reminder, we're coming to you from YouTube tonight, Instagram, Facebook, and Periscope. Hi, John. We have a couple of subscriber contests going on as folks are coming in. So let me come back over to the brand. So just a reminder, we're going to be doing a couple of giveaways. Once we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube and Instagram, we'll be giving away a Bigfoot research kit, which has a tape measure and a headlight and notebook. And then for 750 subscribers, we're going to be randomly grabbing a subscriber, and we'll be giving a paranormal bag away. It's a sling bag with flashlights and tripod for your cameras and a little multi-tool. And then we hit 1,000. Good old X8 tactical fixed blade knife will be given away. So, yeah, let's see. Thank you, Margaret, and for the prayers. Hi, Lori, you and Dave. Thank you for those prayers out as well. And hi, Denise. Thoughts and prayers from Travis, and also from Paul. So tonight we're going to be over some equipment, some of the stuff we have going. So the nice thing about being in the car here is I have the ability to kind of show you some of the gear that I use when I'm out there. And let me get that screen off here. I'm using my little computer and don't have my whole desktop in front of me. So changing things around a little bit. So thank you on that, Margaret. So tonight I'm going to be out using my night vision camera. Like I said, I'm sitting on a power line and get some light going here. Good old flashlight, but up that way. Of course, I can't see anything here. There it goes. There we go. Down through there is a power line, and it kind of comes back up the other side. And when I get the other night vision up and running, well, I'll show you guys a little bit better. So I'm going to be shooting a night vision down there, but I also have as long as it's set up out there, have a baby monitor right here. So I can go ahead and that's night vision that we can go ahead and turn on. And that will allow me to watch behind me And this one here has the capability to spin around. So, and hi, Tom. So this little guy we're got going will allow me to, and I turn some things off just because it's a little cold this evening. Yeah, hello down there for the base camp, keeping everything controlled tonight. So if I turn the camera back towards me, go back the other way. We can keep a nice little look on what's going on out and around. So hopefully the cloud cover will change in a little bit, and we can get some video going out there of what's around us. We've used it in a couple other locations where we had moon. The moon started to come out and went back underneath the cloud cover. But for tonight, we've got this. Sorry about the bang in there. Running off the dashboard. So that'll give me a little thing if anything shows up in front. We'll also be running thermals. And tonight we're running the ATN. And for the dash setup, I have connect it into your device. I have a tablet set up on the dashboard. And this is the ATN. You guys have heard me mention it in the past. This is the thermal that we use when we're out in the field. Right now we use it for road work as well as some paranormal investigations. I have a smaller little Seek that goes in the phone. But this little guy here, I can plug into a monitor as well as send it to a tablet, and we can see what's out there. And it's turned on. There we go. And we can set this up on a tripod as well. I just happen to have the baby camera out there on a tripod tonight, so I can see what's going on. The nice thing about that baby monitor, we use it for investigations as well too when we're doing paranormal. Instead of taking the security cameras, that has a thermometer in it, so we can watch temperature. It's got two-way sound, so we can communicate with the team. And then, so this is the thermal. And like I said, we can get a shot on me here. We can pull it up on the monitor. We can see other stuff that's out there. It's going to connect. There's a car coming down the road, so maybe we can pick up on that. So some of the stuff we've got going. So I was talking to a partner of mine that I do research with, and we kind of talking about the winter and squatching in the winter. And a lot of folks aren't into getting out there so much in the winter. What we found, though, with devices like the ATN Thermal or some of the other brands that are out there, like FLIR and Pulsar and stuff, you can. I moved all the cameras around there. One second. Let's not spend all night messing with the camera. You can do some road work. And actually, there's a couple of brands that are out there like FLIR that have, there we go. Okay. This has worked all night. Now it's not going to work. Roof mount mounts that you can use to do some road work. And the nice thing about that is this time of year, at least here in the Northeast, is we have less leaf cover. The trees are down, the foliage is reduced. In another couple of weeks, the heavy grasses will be going down, so we can really get into looking in the woods. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please drop them in there. Please like and share and subscribe. So as we're out there, we're really got a better chance of looking to see what's around us. The ability to hear into the woods is much better. The air is crisper, and we can really hear what's going on for a longer distance. And I'm going to turn that camera just a little bit, see what the baby monitor is going to get. See if we can get any good stars tonight. Sorry about that. Had my mouse on my armrest and kind of knocked it down there quick. But, the big thing is you can see farther. Our heat signatures are out there. We can see, better with the thermal cameras at night or even during the day. But, everything that's nice and cold, if it's a hot signature, we can really take a look. Our wildlife isn't moving around as much and it's more concentrated to where the foods are. And we can see why can you hear farther is because the air quality is a little different. As Paul told me the other day, it's a little more dense, so that sound's going to travel a little bit better. And we don't have the vegetation dampening that sound. How often do I investigate Bigfoot? Just when there's a sighting, or is it more often? Lately, we've been out in the woods at least once a week since things have gotten better. More to do some road work and look at locations. You can look at Google Earth. We look at a lot of the other sightings that are out there. Folks pass information along. Talking to other investigators, put your own concept together. We're looking at a couple of different environmental factors, everything from what food sources are out there to support big animals, to cover, to bedding areas. So we're out there quite a bit looking, and it's always a good day to get out in the woods. The particular location that I'm in, there was a newspaper article on a sighting. Was actually one of the original articles that got me started. And I know a couple other folks that have been out in the area and have had some strange experiences in the woods. Recently, we've done some research on local lore and history in the area, and that's an interesting thing. Hi, Brian. Just looking up the history in your area, what's out there? Our area. The Senecas were here, and there's some native legends about the stone giants and some other things. So it kind of makes it interesting, and following that information and where that goes. But like I said, it's another good day to get out in the woods. We've seen some interesting things, both here in the Finger Lakes and up in the Adirondacks. What's Tommy got there? Let's see. What's Paul's question here? Why can you see thermal better? Is it because there's more contrast between the cold and the heat given off by mammals? There's definitely a difference. Those colder nights, once things settle in, you definitely get a really nice picture of stuff moving. I mean, everything from the small chipmunks and field mice that are out running to bear. On this particular evening, the bear, I don't have my big computer with me, but just recently we've gotten bear on 2 different locations, and it's very interesting to see as it's colder at night those big heads on those bear, they're nice and warm. There are bear in this area. There's coyotes in this area. It's actually an interesting area. I was up here one night and had the night vision go down, rechanged the batteries out, moved around, went around the corner, came back to that same location. As soon as we hit the same location, batteries on the thermal went down. So, but it's getting out there. So yeah, that thermal contrast between the cold and the setup is definitely different. Let's see what Tommy's got. Ever thought about coming out to Ohio to Wayne's Forest? I believe there's a proper name. It's just east of Nelsville, Ohio. Once COVID changes, I plan on getting on the road and going to visit some friends. So if there's places to go and places to look, I'm always into looking for new places. As we get into, like I said, equipment, besides the night vision and thermal, I carry a DSLR. I have my Nikon with me 24/7. It's always usually right at my feet. Because you never know when you're going to get that great nature shot. And that's another big thing about being out here and doing this is that, if we find something, we find something, but the journey is absolutely amazing when you can get out there and you can look for some beautiful locations. I've seen some amazing waterfalls, some great creeks, got some awesome animals and birds from all up and down the East Coast. So yeah, I would definitely be interested in checking that out. Blutowski wants to know, or Bludasky, boy, I can't talk still, wants to know what our area is. I kind of go between Western New York, the PA border, and over, I'll go over and hang out with Steve Culls and hit the Adirondacks too, but mostly the Finger Lakes region. Hi, Jen. So John worked for a camera company for a long time. Batteries are notoriously unreliable. Yes, they are. And what I learned the other night too is don't put them in backwards into a thermal if you're using lithiums, because they will heat up. Always check and double check where your batteries are going. Margaret wants to know, do you carry arms when out due to unexpected encounters? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Usually I've got a bear spray with me. It depends where I'm going, and they're available. But for folks coming in, if you're coming in from Where's My Sage, the group tonight, you're gonna have to let me know who you are. For some reason, the groups on Facebook are not allowing for your names to come in unless you authorize them through Facebook and StreamYard. So hello to the Facebook user that came in. Unfortunately, I don't know who you are. And again, folks, if you're tuning in tonight, Christy's not with us, so I'm out in the woods. Her dad's in the ICU, not doing great, but let's just kind of keep him in our prayers and send that good energy. As we're both energy healers, it's very important for us to go ahead and still try the energy route. Margaret's on Facebook. Yeah, this is it's from the group. It's not from the main pages. Let's see what Tommy's got here. As a paranormal investigator, I agree batteries are always a problem. I always carry extra batteries. Yes, it's 90% of my run through is batteries. There's tool chests and bags, and if I'm out going to investigation, I'm always stopping to grab a set wherever I'm at. So let's check the night vision again. So another big thing we talk about, flashlights. Make sure you got a good flashlight when you're out there. even something that's little that just gives you a little setup, running a white light or running a red light, so you can, we got that red light. It's not so bad. So, hi Maxine. Where's my mouse here? So a good flashlight, having a good flashlight with you is very, very important when you're out doing these things. Headlights as well, headlamps. So what I've got set up in my Jeep right now is pretty much how I would run most nights. Usually, one of my guys is usually driving, and I'm usually running a thermal. And then we usually have one of two night visions running out the windows. So Denise, thank you for the prayers for Christy and her dad and family. Again, we keep that energy going, guys. Another big thing, first aid kit. If you're going to be out doing this thing, I don't care if you're doing ghost hunts, if you're doing bigfooting, if you're just going out for a hike, take a small first aid kit with you. Know how to do basic first aid and CPR. It's a really important thing to know. I carry, quick clot. I'm usually, a distance from somewhere. We're using down some trail. And even if you're changing batteries out and something and it's got a screwdriver in it, zap yourself with that screwdriver. You want to make sure that's, something to go on. Another reason I like getting out here in the winter and doing investigations, there's less people. The diehards are out there. I mean, we got a couple more weeks of hunting season. What's up, Edward? How are you doing? And hi, Michelle. Did a nice interview with Edward the other day on his show, Bigfoot Quest. So again, getting out at this time of year and into this, throughout the winter, it's just the diehards are out there. It allows us to look for tracks a little bit better. There, the moon's starting to come out a little bit better. So hopefully I can get some better signal on here on the night vision on the baby monitor. If not, I'll go back to the others in a minute. Have all my notes. So used to having a co-host. So if anybody's bored and really wants to come on in, just jump on with me. Another thing with the sounds that I mentioned at this time of year, being it's crisp and you don't have all that vegetation. If you get a tree knock or something like that, you're going to hear it a lot more. You're going to hear those trees crack, and that's interesting. Talk about technology acting weird. Carrie, you're out all the time. She said, Carrie says she'll be out all winter. Even when you're not supposed to be out, you're out there running. And Maxine sending energy to Christy and her dad. And it's very interesting that my mouse stopped working all of a sudden. Try turning that. It's plugged in. That's really weird. Speaking of batteries and being weird. Huh. Sorry, I thought I heard a knockout there. So another thing with sound. Carry recorder. It's good to have with you. Interesting. To have that recorder going, one, for your notes, two, for those sounds. For the paranormal folks, it's a better, you get your EVPs. So, I carry this one. There's some bigger and setups, but this is nice and light. And it goes into my backpack, and I run a stereo microphone, and then I live listen with headphones in. So I can hear stereo on either side of me. So if something's pacing me somewhere, I can take and hear that. And from lots of years of diving, it helps with my hearing, so I can hear who I'm with. Let's see. over my other little notes here. If it's really cold, we still have bears pretty active year round up here, but if it is colder, they will kind of semi-hibernate. So those larger animals that are floating around, we're getting on thermal. Not so many bear. We'll still get the deer, but if it's really cold, again, with that thermal, if it's moving, we get an upright target. It's a little easier for us to pick that area to go out and take a look. Let's see. Be prepared. That's a big thing, is making sure you're prepared. Knowing your area. Do not rely on your cell phone as a GPS. I learned hard way this summer that relying on GPS, even though I had maps in the car, GPS does not always work when you're using the ones on your phone, using any of the Google Maps or Waze or something like that. If you don't have a signal, it's not going to work. Even had a problem with one of the big name brand GPSs. They got hacked over the summer and, had to go back to maps. Let's see, Mariska. Any animals ever been aggressive or attacked you? I have not had anything since I started doing this. Years ago, I got chased by some deer, but that was before bigfooting, and that was in the rut. I've been in the middle of, it's actually at this location about a mile and a half into the woods. I had coyotes pop up on all three sides of us. It was kind of really cool, but kind of spooky at the same time. And that was in the middle of a battery change. No, I haven't had anything attack or be aggressive towards me at all. I was involved in a rock throwing incident, but again, we didn't get what was on thermal, or night vision. So was it a squatch? Who knows? Was it a person? I mean, we were 5 miles from anybody else. We checked the area with thermal and night vision prior. We got up there during the daylight, but I took a couple to the face that night across the car with a couple other investigators. So it's, it was a different evening. Cold. So cold will work your electronics kind of different too. So my mouse is not always working here. Let's see what else did I forget about here? So the big thing is getting out, relaxing, enjoying the weather, seeing what's out and around. But, the Bigfoot journey is an interesting location search, internal search. I'm still the flesh and blood, but I have a lot of friends that are into the paranormal and aspects of this and the quantum aspects. But the internal journey of energy, we try to do a thing this summer from the Adirondacks, and we couldn't get a signal anywhere. Yeah, John, it probably is the mouse is the mouse is probably a battery problem. I just need to reach back behind the seat and grab another set of batteries here. This is a computer that kind of goes everywhere. Again, take your batteries. Make sure you have every sort of battery that you might need, because you just never know when you might need some. So let's try that quick. So like I said, this journey, the Bigfoot journey, is more of an energy and spiritual journey, I would almost say. You're out there enjoying nature. You're trying to preserve what's out here. So it's not, are we going to find Bigfoot? It's, are we going to find two of the same? Are we going to find ourselves? So even years ago, I had a boss, big hunter, hunted all over the U.S. But towards the end of his hunting career, and like I said, I'm sitting on a power line. He stopped really taking a gun with him. He started taking a 35 millimeter camera with him because, okay, we're going to date ourselves on, how long that goes back. And the pictures he got with his camera, I know that man could have gotten with a pistol or a rifle or a shotgun or a bow and arrow. Were absolutely amazing and very inspirational. And again, I'm in the no-kill camp, so that's interesting. You put those in backwards. So getting out there and enjoying is a big thing, and seeing what's there. Hang on one second. So at this particular location, I did have a friend get tracked out of the woods. Actually across the street from where I'm at. So big non-believer, but when he reached out to me, he's like, I don't know what that was. So I like coming up here because was it a cat or a was it bear? Was it a deer? Was it I doubt it was a wild pig, but they are and occasionally show up in the area. So what's the spookiest place you guys have gone out into the woods? Anybody got a good location that they've been out in the woods that just make you wonder where you were and what was going on? that better? Does that sound better, guys? Let me know. I don't know why my voice would be off, but probably lost the microphone here, and we'll come back around. So. Oh, so I did just got a message from, still sound like the Chipmunks, huh? Let's see. Why do I sound like the Chipmunks? Well, let's try this now. Can you guys hear me now? Is that better? Oh, now I got it's better. All right. Let me go back to the other microphone, or go back to the camera. All right. Christy sent me a little message there, reminded me about the first time I took her out, which would have been a cold fall as well. That particular time we went out, we're down in Chautauqua County. We hadn't seen. Now it's better. Now let me know if it's better or worse now. I'm back on the microphone. So good. Thank you guys for that. We had gone down, met another investigator, Ryan Reading. Christy had never been out. Got all our gear set up. The guys decided that we were going to go take a walk, and we left Christy at the top of a hill. Figured we could see her, and then we went down over the knoll, and we couldn't see her. She couldn't see us. Got some breaks. Thanks, guys. Let me know it was coming in a little better. We went back to the location, kind of explained it, moved on to a different location. The other location, creepy. My friend Ryan had seen some things up in that area. And while we're sitting there, Christy, we're in a little circle. I'm in the middle of a parking lot, kind of similar to the setup like this. And we just went down to listen. Nice rural area. And as we were down there, nice funky scream came out of the woods, which sounded like a gibbon. We don't know what it was. And the reason I say gibbon is I spent a couple of years, Melody, hi Sherry, is a volunteer at a local zoo. And in the winter, come back to the winter again, I spent time in the primate house. That's where the gift shop was. And as a kid volunteering, it was a great job to learn how to count money and do inventory and stuff and market. And I heard those chimps, and I heard the orangutans, and I heard the gibbons pretty much every day on the weekends screaming and yelling. So it definitely did not sound like an owl, definitely sound like a gibbon. But again, that's data we're going to keep going. We're going to put on a recorder. We're going to go back and listen to. We're going to use something like maybe like an Audacity or something. And there we go. Now we're going to get some nice. And like I said earlier about the temperature changes, these are now coming up on the thermal. And I forgot I switched color schemes. So that's another big thing is remember what color scheme you're using when you're using thermal cameras. That way you don't switch and think you're got hot, white hot, and then go to black hot or the other way around. Because you will confuse yourself when you're looking at something. You think you got something and it's a tree. And there we go. But moon's starting to come out a little bit. Again, folks, tuning in tonight. Christy's not with us this evening. Her dad's in ICU, so please, thoughts and prayers to her. I was going to come out tonight and do some investigations. I figured I'd bring you folks along to do some more research. If you have any questions about being out there, share some of the equipment. It's a big data collection thing. Another thing that we're using now is this Kestrel Drop. It collects weather data. And it's got a nice little app, and it goes right on my backpack, and we take it with us, and it gives us a nice little setup. Okay. What did that pick up on? So currently it's 36 degrees outside. And again, like I said, I'm running the baby monitor as a night vision with 360 spin, but the moon's still a little low on light. But again, I can take a look at what's going on, my ugly mug here, and see what's out around us. Keep an eye on that temperature. Put that back out behind. So where else have you guys been gone into the woods and just had a weird experience? I'm going to check my notes here of where else I wanted to go tonight. So we went over first aid kits. First aid, CPR, very important. Knowing how to make a fire, making sure you have something to start a fire. Before I heard whatever I did in the background, ever coming in South Carolina or North Carolina for research. My plan is to come down that way. Have some friends and family in North Carolina and some friends down in South Carolina that wanted me to come down. But again, with COVID, with work, I'm not allowed to leave the area. So again, it's short little runs. Even right now, when we're going out as a team or whatever, we got to go out in 2 different vehicles, just so we keep everybody safe. So again, do you have the right gear with you? Do you have heavy enough jacket? Do you have raincoats? Do you have a tarp to make a shelter? All stuff to put in the back, and we'll end up doing a more of a gear show coming up. I have a friend that does backpacks, and we're going to talk to him about some of those coming up soon. With the snow, as I smell the air change and know it's probably turned into snow out there, you have the ability for more reflection. So as we're doing those night drives, and the moon comes out on those nice nights, so we have less foliage out there. We have less tree cover from that foliage. Again, the ground cover is down, the snow is on the ground. It gives us the ability to really see back in with the night visions, and just with the naked eye, with that reflection, see if stuff's moving. Food sources. When we pick and look for location, we're looking for food sources. What are our berries? What are our vegetation? What's the fish? What's the game? It's really interesting. Everybody's like, well, is there enough source of food for something? Well, take a look at what's around. Everything from the inside of a tree bark on some trees to, different shoots. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have some folks from Naked and Afraid on, some of the survivalists again. I'll have Stacy on, and we're going to talk some of that survival. She's up in the Pacific Northwest, and she's also doing some Bigfoot investigations up there, but she's a biologist by trade, looking where that area is, looking for those deep paths that are there into the woods. Let's see. Another good one, bug spray. During the summer, during the fall, during the spring, we're really going to rock out the bug spray. If you get a good, warm winter day, another good thing, make sure you got that bug spray with you. But another nice thing is that during the winter, we have less creepy crawlies. We've got less ticks running around. We've got less snakes moving around. unless you get one of those warm days. So still remember on those warm days to make sure you're bringing some of that stuff with you. Make sure you're bringing your bug spray. You got it with you. Make sure your pant legs are still laced in your, in your boots or in your socks. But again, with the cold, it's less stuff moving around. So we're looking for that thermal link, even though those, things aren't going to pop as much. With something else that's less likely to put a heat signature out. But if it's a warm area that we're going to, that's probably where those creepy crawlies are running around too. So watch around those rocks, those cave entrances and stuff. Let's see. When we're out there, though, some of those screams that we hear, some of that stuff, again, like I said, it's not all Bigfoot. There's some other really great apps out there from Cornell University. They're birding apps. And it's good to record some of that data and compare it against other wildlife sounds. Hi, Ann. But the biggest thing with being out here like tonight, it's quiet. I could be up in the woods a little bit more, but not to have all my data set up and running the computer with you guys. But the ability to sit down and relax, listen to the weather, when I say the weather, the wind through the trees, light sprinkle, all that stuff, that long walks on the beach, but you're in the woods. Getting out there, enjoying the time. You hear them a little closer to the road, but again, there's a lot of sightings that are road crossings. So again, the location I'm in right now, back into the woods a little bit, large sets of power lines. They talk about power lines, other investigators seeing stuff on power lines because it's an easy path through. Like anything, it's a nice area. This particular, like I said, this area, I'm in between two different lakes. There's great little waterfalls in between the lakes. There's some wonderful swamps on either end. For paranormal guys, it's a really interesting area. There was a whole military campaign that came through the area I'm in right now. And unfortunately, that military campaign did a lot of destruction in the area. So for the paranormal folks, great area. But again, going back to history, there are sightings in the area, native stories of the area. So Sunday, unfortunately, we were not on Sunday. Again, for you folks just tuning in, Christy and I were not able to get out on Sunday due for some family issues. So we apologize for not being there Sunday. And speaking of my partner, how would you compare Bigfoot investigation to paranormal investigations? Well, debunk. That's my thing. Data collect. I like both. Both you're looking at historical accounts. So for Bigfooting, I'm looking for historical locations. I'm looking for, okay, that's good. That's interesting. Come back around here. Looking for, like I said, looking for historical locations. This camera hasn't been using a little bit. So again, batteries. Double, triple charge, because you never know when you might need them. And some systems will work in the warmth and work with the cold. So this is a new camera that we're trying. Christy's got my other set that I use. So paranormal. So we look at a location for paranormal. You're looking at the history. What happened in that location? Who built the building? Who was housed or lived in the building? Who worked in the building? It's a very cool historical background. For the Bigfoot, I'm looking for who moved through the area, who lived in the area and had sightings. What were the people doing? So on both sides, we're looking at that historical account. Hi, Elaine, and hi, Big Man Jay. Gear. Hey, Jimmy. So like we went over so far with the gear, we're using thermal cameras when we're out doing ghost investigations. So I'm using a smaller unit. I use a little unit that plugs into my phone. There are some other small handheld units that are great. They're inspection tools for electricians and plumbers. And all the major companies are making something that's out there. When we're out doing large fields or we're doing this kind of thing, we're definitely using heavier equipment like the big scopes. Let's reach over here on the side here. So, like this big guy, like I said, this is my bread and butter tool, because I can cover so much ground with the big heavy thermals. You're still record again, like I said, the recorders, so how does it compare? I'm still going to collect sound. We're going to collect sound when we're in a building. We were talking to an investigator the other day about, how they use multiple recorders in different locations throughout the building because you're getting different sounds. We're using data collectors to pull in sound. I'm also running a couple of 3D apps that you could go in and scan your room ahead of time. Go back later and see if that stuff's moved. Photographs. Shannon's asking about photographs of any orbs. Orbs are an interesting thing. I have not got any orbs inside I'll leave that one up. During a ghost investigation. Other friends and colleagues have. And again, a lot of times when we're looking for those, my big thing is to carry a couple of different lights with me in different color spectrums. That way I can check a room for dust and other particles. But again, going back to how we started with tonight's show is being a winter show. Our dust is lower in these cold temperatures. Because we don't, and with the winter, with the snow, you have that layer is down, the moisture's down. We don't have the dust floating around. Now, my boy Jay's here with me. He was with me and a couple other guys down in Pennsylvania on a Bigfoot thing where we did get something moving through that were little balls of light. Stuff can't explain. We've got them on recording, but the camera was junk. And again, I'm not saying it was junk because it was just first generation. So the person that let me use that camera, I'm sorry, I'm not saying it's junk. But the technology's come a lot better. So at night, what cameras you're using, there's a couple of, there's a whole bin of cameras in the back with GoPros and night vision and stuff. As well, like I said, it's my big Nikon I keep in the front seat. But what we saw that evening, can't explain. Again, it's something we'll document, and we'll look. And we look at weather conditions, and there's, you guys will be seeing more on that. My friend Edward there and his show coming up soon, so I'm not going to spoil any more on that. But Shannon, you've been with me when we've gotten some stuff with cell phone cameras. And depending on the cell phone, we noticed you get some different lighting aspects. The particular cell phone I have here doesn't show any lights on it, but interesting. You see that little flash? That little flash to the naked eye is up there all the time, but it's not when you're looking at it. So on the camera, it picks up. So the technology you're using may pick up different things as well. So we're still trying to figure out why that camera does that, but it does. Yeah, phone lenses are not the best. It depends. I mean, at least for video, some of the new cameras are making nice little video recording. I just don't know. Like I said, John, if you've got background in optics, I'm always willing to listen to folks that have background in photography and cameras and stuff like that, because there's always something to learn. And that's the big thing I've learned with this is always make sure you have more stuff to learn about. And I apologize, guys. I'm going to turn the Jeep on just for a minute here, just so I keep the battery going with all the technology I got running. So I'll try to keep everything quiet, at least sound-wise. Let's see, went over that. Check my little list of things here. So snow and tracks. Here's, again, the 3D apps that we're running. I've started running some 3D scanner apps. So folks are like, hey, there was a track here and then there's not a track here. That 3D scanner will show you some great little things. Yeah, that's what they were designed for. Let's people snow tracks. So the big thing is getting out there, enjoying your time out there, finding new locations, finding new places to go hike, camp. And not every bump in the woods is going to be a Bigfoot. Not every creak of the door is going to be a ghost. But there's going to be some places you're going to go to that are going to be really cool. Take the data down. Take a look. Compare it with other people. Because somewhere down the line, things might be a little different. And maybe the same. So it's that data that's the same that we're looking for. Now, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any suggestions for any guests, please let us know in the comments or send us a message at Where's My Sage. We're always looking to broaden our experiences and our horizons. Even when speaking with Jet Tila there a couple of weeks ago on how meditation is important even for his business stuff. And just wanted to search that quick. And again, this particular camera I'm running right now is just night vision. I got the thermal down below. Just allows me to get all the way around. Another thing, if you're looking to buy a thermal or a night vision, look for something, save your pennies, and get something that records. It'll help you in the long run keep that data set available when you go back and take the research. So I've been on for an hour and mumbled. If anybody has any questions, please drop them down in the comments. Hopefully next week we'll be back with a regular show. Prayers to my partner and her family and her dad, that he gets better soon. And I appreciate you guys listening to me talk about getting out there. I do a lot of road work this time of year. just because the hunters are in the woods and we're limited on daylight. But night, with the night vision and the thermals, kind of make things different. And again, you don't have as many people out running around the woods. So at 9 o'clock at night, you can pull over a side road or an overlook somewhere, and you can cover a lot of ground with those cameras. And once the creeks and stuff and ponds freeze up, you'll be able to get good shots of, different wildlife going over, and share your wildlife photos. If you guys got some good wildlife photos, share them on our Facebook page. Like to see where everybody's getting out and enjoying the weather. So with that, nobody's got any more questions. I'll give it another minute here to drop a question in. We will catch everybody next Tuesday night. Hopefully for a little more comedy. But again, if you're going to get out there, folks, make sure you got a nice jacket. Let people know where you are. That's another big thing. Make sure you take your phone, grab one of the other interesting pieces of equipment, like a spot or something like that you can. Hang on 1 second. Just the wind shifting. I know there's a couple of bobcats in the area, so I would love to grab one on the thermal. I've got a big cat on thermal, slower down in this particular county, but I definitely would love to get one up here. Again, it's the adventure of. Like I said, there's a lot of coyotes up here too, so I was hoping maybe get some good sounds for you guys. But that getting out there and just enjoying nature, spending time. It's, the best thing about getting out here with this stuff is, totally forgot. Dash camera. If you got a dash camera, get yourself a dash camera. That will help you. And the reason I got one, put that back, that shining right in everybody's eyes, is I turned the GoPro off one night and had a porcupine walk in front of me. Never seen a porcupine, in the woods. So that adventure of being out there, and a great time to get out with the kids too. If you're going to go out with a family, get out and hike, and partner, it'd be nice if you signed in as your other person instead of you. Again, guys, we're coming in from multiple different sources. Like, share, subscribe. Let me get a couple of more comments here. So Ann, yes, thank you for the prayers for Christy and her family. Lori and Dave, thank you for thank you for sharing. Always some interesting talks. And thank you for sharing tonight. And yeah, getting those animals would be really cool. Facebook user, thank you. And my partner always picking on me for something. So again, much better. And again, Chrissy, prayers for Dad to get well soon. I will try to do some more of these with mouse. Oh, you guys always hear me talking about the puck. It's the puck. Don't know. Couldn't do the show without it most nights. She's still going to make me put the banner up. Occasional. And Yeah. And I'm going to have to go back and edit that last comment out of there. So again, yes, thank you for those listening. Chrissy's just dropped a quick note in there as a thank you. So until next week, remember we have the giveaway. So go to YouTube, go to Instagram, please subscribe. I see where everybody's signing in and who they are and who's subscribing, and we will randomly be picking those folks. Happy Thanksgiving. And remember, folks, in these troubled times, call the family. If you've got a gut feeling and says, got a call. If you need to turn around and talk to somebody, find somebody to talk to, be it family, be it friends, be it counselor. With this COVID and for most of us here in the U.S. and around the world, I think everybody's getting ready to go through another round of lockdowns. Reach out to somebody that can chat. We're always here to listen, and be safe. And like always, sample on, folks. So let me sign us out here.